in that production, I had to be tied up with tape to one of the pianos once. So
What?
yeah,
Really?
believe it or not. I mean, again, it sounds crazy, but somehow it made sense a little bit in the production. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Adam Kiss Show. Today, we have a great show for you. We're going to be talking about some horror stories that we all have. It's very fitting for the month of October, Halloween, and all that. So, going to introduce again Easton and Isabella.
Hello. Welcome to the horror stories of theater and film and the like. I'm Easton. Hello.
Hi, I'm Isabella, and welcome to this amazing moment of stories.
Mm.
Oh, well, that really got me in the Halloween mood. I'll do my Dracula impression. Children of the night.
Oh,
Beautiful music they make.
Ooh. Okay. This is about to get Halloweeny up in here.
Yeah, I mean, well, Dracula was from Transylvania, which is not far from Hungary, where I have some lineage. So
Nice.
yeah, my
that's
mom's from
perfect.
Hungary, so I have Hungarian heritage. So clearly, I must be related to Dracula.
I mean, that's
Exactly.
clearly, yeah. It's somewhere in your ancestry. You need to ancestry.com it to figure out like the
Exactly.
exact, yeah, but he's somewhere.
Yeah,
I feel it.
old Uncle Vlad.
Yeah, Uncle Vlad. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Who's got the first horror story? Or should I go?
So I'll go first.
Nice.
So yeah, in terms of this was I have plenty of things obviously with film theater, but this was when I was in an opera actually. It was in Eugene Onegin. I was doing it in Philadelphia, and I was playing Prince Gremin. So basically, that's the role. He comes in at the end of the opera. He sings for 5 minutes, one of the greatest arias in history, and then leaves. It's kind of an interesting part. He never shows up. He doesn't show up until the end. He sings like 5-6 minute aria that's like the best aria in the entire thing, and then he leaves. So it's kind of a perfect part. And so he's supposed to be a little bit of an older guy. They gave me a cane. He has a limp, and so suddenly the day of the dress rehearsal, I I slammed the door on my foot. So I actually have a limp, but it's on the wrong foot. So I change it, and the funny thing is, like, I actually had to go on and do it with a real authentic limp. So everyone thought I was acting so well that, oh my God, that limp was so real. It was so real. The funny thing was, it was actually hurting every time I I stepped, because
Oh my
I slammed the door on my foot. So like my toenail was totally, it was all black. All my toenails were black. So it was
Oh,
bad.
Oh my gosh.
you
Oh
got
man,
into character
Yeah,
all
exactly.
the
It was,
way in.
I think I subconsciously did it to get into character.
Yeah.
yeah. Did you have to go
Yeah.
to like a doctor
Yeah,
after
I
that, or
literally
were
had
you
to go
just...
to the emergency room. That they tried to drain all the fluid from underneath. It wasn't very successful, but yeah.
Ugh.
Oh my God.
I
So
like this isn't a theater horror story, but I totally dropped my dog's crate on my toe, and I did not go to the emergency room, but
Oh,
my toe turned green.
eh.
Yeah.
no.
Oh, that hurts.
It hurts so bad, and you gotta walk on that.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
oh
Yeah.
my gosh. That's 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 awesome, but also
Yeah.
terrible.
So
It's
who's
terrible.
next?
I think I have it kind of, it's not that similar, but it's happens to me last week. I was in my presentation of one of my final exams for the university. And it's this girl that she have like a problem and she killed her mother. And then she starts like, she put the skin of her mother, and then she start eating she start killing women that are pregnant, and she get obsessed with that, and she start eating the fingers of the people. So when I was in the scene making it, I take like the fingers that were plastic fingers and a tomato, and I eat it myself, and I eat actually the finger in the plastic fingers, so get in my
Oh,
throat, and I was like really scared because it was presenting the final, and I start like throwing up because I throw up in the scene, but I really did because I take the finger in, but it was good because it was acting, and that was it, and it was good. The final was good, but you know,
So did they literally have no idea that you literally? Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
and then what happened? And I was like, no, it really happened, you know. Yeah.
Oh, well, I hope you get a good grade for that because
Yeah.
I
man.
hope so too. Yeah.
Oh my
Just
gosh.
tell them you get a mandatory A. You know, I told them. You know,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, here I
you're
go.
up.
It's my
You're up.
turn.
Orange.
Your turn.
Okay. So there was one show that I was in. I had just moved. I was 13 years old. I was trying to find a new theater. And I would say this show was probably the most disorganized show that I've ever been a part of. Maybe I might have to think back. But it was a Christmas Carol, and because I was 13, it was like a youth and kids show, and I got cast as the Ghost of Christmas Present. And the rehearsals, they wanted to go in order, and so but they also wanted everyone there at all times. Now this is like youth, like 14 and under, like kids, so we were just like sitting there waiting for our turn and being scolded when we talked because they were rehearsing. And I had told the director, like, hey, I'm not going to be here on this day. I have a family thing that I'm going out of town for, and so I'm not going to be here. And I had told her that ahead of time. I told her literally at the rehearsal ahead of time too, and at the end of that rehearsal she was like, okay, and next week we're going to start blocking the Ghost of Christmas Present. And I was like, are you kidding me? I'm not going to be there. And so instead of, waiting until a time I was there, they blocked it without me. And so I had to
No
catch
way.
Yup. I had to catch up on my own blocking. And I was like, why didn't I don't I don't know, like, if it was just her directing style. I don't understand why she didn't just skip ahead. And it was also like with the show, they were like, you're gonna have a candelabra and you're gonna have this and you're gonna have that, and I didn't have any of it. And then the opening night, they were like, here's a candelabra, go! And it was like falling apart. It was like taped on candles to a thing, and it was like falling apart as I was going. I had never rehearsed with it. At one point, the whole curtain fell down in the middle of the show. It was just like these little things
Oh,
that's like, why isn't this organized better? Why is, why?
yeah.
Like,
Oh, totally. Wow. Well,
That's terrible.
I don't know. I don't know who wins the prize here.
the audience must decide in the comments. We'll make a
I mean,
poll
yeah.
or
I
something.
mean, there's so many. Basically, yeah. Show business can be described as one big horror story in a way. There's always something going wrong. Like there was another one where I was doing, again, this is an opera one where I was in Don Giovanni.
Ooh.
Yeah, did you know Don Giovanni? Yeah.
Yeah.
Leporello. Um, and like the blocking for that show was crazy. It was a very avant-garde production. So it was like the set was like 20 pianos around the set. And like the
That's
blocking was
That's
like
a lot.
moving around all the pianos. And like, sometimes that they wouldn't, they were creaky. They had like specific blocking for like moving the pianos. That was like
Oh
part of
God.
the show. And like it was so confusing. It was, and I had to do most of it. So it was very, that's
It was
definitely
crazy.
one. Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
but that's cool.
Did anyone ever like accidentally like fall onto one of the pianos in the middle of the show and just like, the loud sound pianos make when you fall on them?
No, they were closed, thankfully. But I mean,
Oh, okay.
the funny thing is that I had to get up on top of them sometimes. It's interesting. Yeah, it was a very avant-garde production.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds
Sounds
cool.
cool.
Also
Yeah,
sounds a little
exactly.
scary.
Yeah.
It sounds
Well, yeah,
terrifying.
and the funny thing is, in that production, I had to be tied up with tape to one of the pianos once. So
What?
yeah,
Really?
believe it or not. I mean, again, it sounds crazy, but somehow it made sense a little bit in the production.
In theater and in movies, like everything can
Yeah.
happen. So yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I
That's
know.
amazing.
Do you have a story, Issa?
No, no,
No,
I
I
haven't.
got another one. I got another one.
Okay,
I'm
please
in the
tell me.
zone now. Okay. So
Hmm?
my first time stage managing, I was like 15 or 16 years old, and this is tea. So if anyone who goes to this theater wants to know what the heck happened during this production, I have the tea. So, um, it was my first time stage managing, which for those of you who might not know theater, it's basically the stage manager is the person in charge of the technical crew, and during the week before of rehearsals, of dress rehearsals, and during the performances, they're in charge of making sure everything runs smoothly. The director steps aside, the stage manager is in charge. So this was my first time. It was a youth production, so everyone in there was like high school, uh, maybe a little younger. I think it was all high school. And after the first weekend of performances, we had one tech that had to drop because of academic reasons. They weren't passing their classes, so they had to drop. And that was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll reorganize everything because it's like complicated sets. And I'm like, okay, but I can do that. So that wasn't the problem. What was the problem was one of my techs and one of the actors, and this was a Christian theater, so this was very taboo,
Oh,
were
Oof.
caught making out backstage and got into serious trouble. And
Oh no.
I know. And the punishment that they decided was that they needed to have a parent chaperone with them for the next day. And for classes, this was the last weekend of performances that this happened. And me being my not thinking about this completely self, when one of them turned to me at when we were eating out after that night and was like, so if one of the techs just didn't show up for a performance, do you think you could do it? And I was like, yeah, I mean I could. I mean it would be an inconvenience, but I could. So the day of the last performance, he just didn't show up. He did not
No.
come at all. So last minute, I had to reorganize all of the tech plans and do all of that. And it was, and I think even like one of the props broke on stage, and I was just like, I don't
No.
even care. We're making it through.
wow.
Oh
Well,
no.
yeah, I mean, well,
That
life happens, I
happens.
guess, especially in the performing arts.
Oh yeah.
I
Exactly.
told I believe I mentioned this once before at one time, but one thing with filming this project was we were filming in New York, which is usually a nightmare. In this case, it was not a nightmare. Everything was going so perfectly, and then suddenly we go to the next location at the Queensboro Bridge. All the roads are closed. And it turns out that the president was literally in town going by with the
Ah,
motorcade
yeah.
at that exact moment. Everything was closed. It took like a trip that like would take like 3 minutes by car. It took like two hours by car.
Oh
Um,
gosh.
we actually couldn't get the cars there. We had to walk and like just bring the minimal equipment that we can.
Oh,
So
this
I mean,
happens.
in terms of like film, that is a horror story. That's like something because I think
Yeah.
he was literally going to the UN, which is somewhat in the area.
Mm,
So like literally, whenever a president goes by in New York, they just shut down the entire road, like for
yep,
like
of
hours,
course.
like the entire road. Nobody can go
Mm.
on that road at
Huh,
all. And that's
crazy.
yeah. I mean, it's crazy, like the timing for these things sometimes. Like
Yeah.
it's not like we're in Washington or something where this can happen a lot more. Or like if, for example, like if I can only imagine the people who live on the same block as like a president or something, like their block must always be closed down whenever he goes home, or like weekends. I mean, it must be totally crazy to do that. I mean, I can only imagine. So there's all kinds of. I mean, there's more. So there's always more stories. So
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. But these ones are very good. You can vote and share what's your
yeah, exactly.
favorite.
Which are your favorite horror
Yeah,
stories? And if you want to hear more,
exactly.
We always have more to tell.
yes. But in the meantime, I'm looking forward to our next guest, Socrates, if he can finally be reached.
Yep. We've been trying, man.
You've been trying.
It, he's just always traveling.
Hmm.
If you see this, you can text us.
Yes, yes. If you see Socrates, or we'll settle for Aristotle too.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, like use the power of the internet. If you see them walking around, please take a picture and share it to Adam Kiss Official on any of our platforms. Like maybe like I don't know. There's a way to like share stuff, right? To us. Tag us. Tag us.
Yeah,
Tag us.
exactly. Tag us, tag us. And
I'm a
you
social
know,
media coordinator. I know the terms.
and yeah, exactly. And you know, aside from all those older guys, I should say, um, we're planning to have a very exciting week next week. We'll be interviewing Steven Spielberg, Martin
Mhm.
Scorsese, and Quentin
Mhm.
Tarantino all at once. And you'll have to tune in to see who else. They're opening for a bunch of other people.
Yeah.
She's laughing, but we're dead serious.
Yeah, we're serious. We're very
We're
serious.
really
I'm sorry.
serious.
I'm sorry. It's
Extremely.
just,
This is an extremely serious show.
mhm. We're dead
This is
serious.
a serious adult programming. Oh, that lasted for a second. But anyway, uh, you see, we're just talking here.
Yeah.
Great to have you on for our horror stories for the month that includes Halloween. It's coming up soon. And be sure to follow us on all social media, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. The list goes on and on. There's so many social media platforms today. And thanks, everyone. It says like video filters,
Ooh, that's interesting.
Hey?
lollipops.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. Wow,
Does it do I look like I'm in an airplane?
Yeah,
this is funny.
exactly.
Wow.
For the
I'm
COVID.
being very safe right now. So,
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
wow.
Oh, I see. Oh, it's the
Yeah,
filters.
filters.
Oh, okay. Oh, those are
Oh,
awesome.
okay, so I have a halo now, so perfect.
That's perfect.
Ah.